evening, everybody, and welcome to Take Two Radio. I'm Pam, your host, and today I have with me as my co-host Sabina, and she is having problems with allergies, so I'm going to do most of the talking today. Oh, my gosh. David just went through that. We all go through it. It's that time of the year, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if we have our guest yet. Dale, are you on the phone yet?
Well, yes, I am. How are you?
Oh, good, good. I wasn't sure because I had connected and I didn't hear you at first. Well, for our listeners, our wonderful guest tonight is a wonderfully talented, award-winning dale-raoul, and she plays in True Blood, The Office, Friends, many, 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 many things.
Hi. Thank you for the nice introduction.
It was a little off today. I usually do it better than that. So.
Oh, it was great.
Thanks for joining us.
You bet.
You've done so much. My gosh, you've been a busy woman.
Well, I'm fortunate to be a character woman, which means I don't really have to worry about getting older. So
yeah.
I get to play all kinds of crazy parts, and you know, I'm just a very fortunate person to be able to make a living at what I love doing. And as years have passed, I've been doing more and more and more interesting roles. So I consider myself very fortunate.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because not everybody can fit into every type of different genre or film or movie or TV or anything, and you can adapt to that, and that's wonderful for you.
Well, thanks.
You fell in love with acting at an early age when you were in a play at the age of 6.
Yes, exactly. It was kind of strange. I tell the story that I got the part of the mother in the kindergarten play, and I was in the first grade then, but I got the part because I was the tallest girl.
Oh,
I just remember being kind of excited by the camaraderie of it, and being on stage and being kind of powerful and getting to tell this story to people who were listening. And you know, of course, they were just little kids, but I think it sort of holds true for today. Also, my dad was an attorney, so I would see him, and I think that, you know, there's some connection to that somehow.
Oh, okay. Now, how did you, I mean, at 6, it's kind of hard to, like, base your character on somebody, but did you kind of think of your mom? No?
I guess so. I don't think so. I'm sure I just tried to remember my lines, and that's, I can kind of vaguely remember it, but I think I was probably terrified and thrilled at the same time.
Yeah. Do you still get stage fright at all, or have you grown out of that?
Yeah, I do, actually. Not so much when you work in television or a movie, because it's a different kind of being nervous.
Right.
You don't rehearse very much, but there isn't an audience, really, and you know, you rehearse before you shoot it, but it all happens very quickly, and so it's a different kind of nervousness. But you know, when you're in a play or doing some sort of a reading or something, there's always the first time when there's an audience, and then there's the first time when there are critics, and that's always a different kind of scared.
Right. Do you pay
I don't think it ever goes away.
Yeah.
Pardon me? Yeah.
Do you pay attention to what the critics say or write?
You know, I used to, and I think I'd say now I try not to read them, because if it's really wonderful, then you want to believe it, but if it's really terrible, then you don't want to believe it.
Right.
So I think it's better just to let people have their opinion, and you just try to do the best you can.
Well, I'll tell you what, as a viewer, I do not read critics' reviews, because I don't necessarily agree with them. You know, they'll say something is bad, and yet I loved whatever the TV show was, or the film, or the play.
Yeah, exactly. And nowadays, too, you know, the critics aren't maybe as experienced or educated in the field as you might wish they would be. So, you know, you're going to base your theater or film going experience on the words of somebody who may not really know what they're looking at.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's better just to make your own judgment.
Yeah, and I do.
Yeah.
So
Good.
So there. To them critics. Haha. Oh. What were your first emotions when you booked your first TV show?
Oh my gosh, my first. Well, it was. I was really thrilled and scared. It was for Murder, She Wrote. Murder, She Wrote? Murder, She Wrote with Angela Lansbury. And, of course, she was a big theater star, so to me she was like a goddess. And I think I was playing a nurse, and I think I had about, 2 or 3 lines. And I really didn't know how shooting any kind of thing worked, and so I didn't understand why I had to wait so long, and I was sitting in my trailer forever, and I thought, oh, my God, they've forgotten about me or something. And I remember getting out on the set, and what I had to do wasn't hard at all, but I remember Angela Lansbury was so nice to me, and she was wearing her bedroom slippers, and I thought that was very interesting that she was. Yeah, but I'm sure it's happened. She was probably in her 50s then, or probably her feet hurt, and she thought no one's going to see them. So, but she was very nice, and it was very exciting.
Wow, that would have been amazing. I definitely enjoyed Murder, She Wrote, and I noticed you've guest starred on so many wonderful shows, including Friends, one of my favorites, and just so many awesome shows. And I was wondering, what's your favorite one that you've been on?
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, I must say that True Blood has been, of course, high on my list, and part of that is due to several things. I have such a fun, crazy character that's been lovely. Yeah. But, of course, to work on a show over a period of years, you get to know the people and to feel comfortable and close to them. That is a rare treat. Other than that, let's see. I enjoyed. I did a movie with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon some years ago called Out to Sea, and they, of course, were movie stars and movie idols, and they were just such lovely older gentlemen, and that was a really big thrill. And then, I had a little part in a movie called The Mexican, and Brad Pitt was the star, so yeah, that was kind of thrilling.
Yeah.
He was very, very nice, very sweet, and, of course, really, really cute, and just a lovely guy. So that was really fun. Those are the ones that come to mind.
Well, your recurring role as Mama Maxine Fortenberry on True Blood, did you watch the show before you got involved with it?
Well, actually, it wasn't on. I think I came in on the 4th episode of the first season, so of course it hadn't aired yet. Okay. But I knew that since it was an Alan Ball show, he's the guy who created 6 Feet Under, and he won an Oscar for the movie American Beauty, and so I knew that it would be, a very quality project. So I was thrilled. I really wanted to get the part, and I worked hard on the audition, and it was a nice fit for me. And when I got the job, I was thrilled. And at the time, they'd said, it might recur, but I didn't really realize how that I would still be doing it 5-6 years later. But so, I just thought, I'll be doing a couple of episodes. And they didn't know at the time, of course, how it would be received and if it would be a hit and how long it would go. And so, everyone had high hopes, but you just never know.
Well, I love her because she's overpossessive, overprotective with her son. And you're also known as a town busybody and a vampire hater. Those things sort of get you in trouble as that character. But I love the town busybodies on shows. They're the most fun to watch. You never know what they're going to do next. And it just reminds me of, like, Mrs. Kravitz from Bewitched.
That's a great comparison. Yeah, they're the most fun parts to play because, they write such wicked, delicious dialogue for them, and you just never know what's going to happen. And every time you get the script, you think, well, now what am I going to be doing? And especially on this show, I was bitten by a vampire and became possessed, and it's like, okay, whatever, I'm up for it.
That was hysterical too, and I noticed, how your eyes got all dark and everything, and I know that that's probably contact lenses. Are they bothersome for your eyes, or are they pretty easy to wear?
Well, actually, I'd never worn contacts before. I have them now, but I'd never worn contacts, and they were really big and black, and they sent us to an ophthalmologist, I guess, who fitted us for these ones. And so then they had technicians on the set that would put them in and take them out, which was great. Because I was very skittish about doing that at the time, and they were not very comfortable. You kind of got used to them, but it was sort of as if you were seeing through sunglasses.
Okay.
Yeah, and so and it was a little bit hard to walk here and there, but they took care of us, and any time you weren't in the scene or the camera wasn't on you, they would take them out. So I guess it was as good as it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried contact lenses, and I had a really, really hard time getting them in and out of my eyes as well. And one time I got one stuck, and I said, that's it, no more.
Well, when I first got them this year, and I couldn't get them out, and so I went back to the doctor, and he said, Dale, teenage girls can do this. I think you can learn to do this. But it's no fun, I must say. The interesting thing is that this doctor, that's all he does is to make contacts for movies and television. And so when you went for your fitting, there were all these posters of huge famous movies and movie stars who were wearing like creepy zombie contacts or alien eyes or something. So I thought, only in Los Angeles would you have such a wacky profession. But it was cool.
That's too funny. I remember the one line when you said your son is calling you out on everything you dislike, and you say, I simply object to a girlfriend that will kill you and eat you.
Yeah, exactly. That pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
You have some great lines in there. If you could choose a love interest on True Blood, who would you choose?
Oh, my. Personally or as my character?
Well, either one.
No. Well, any of, all those boys are so handsome and nice. I mean, you'd be very hard to pick one if you lined them up in a room, believe me.
Right.
Gosh, I've always thought it'd be nice if Maxine could have a boyfriend, but so far, nobody has really shown up. There was a season where I was in cahoots with the high school guidance counselor, I think he was. And I thought, well, he's a possibility, but he never came back on the show. So I thought, but who knows? I don't know yet what's going to happen this season. So anything is.
Well, I think it would be really funny if one of them did end up being a vampire, since you're so against.
Yeah, exactly. But they'll come up with something. Those writers are so incredibly smart and creative. They'll come up with something very sane.
Well, have you gone to any of those Comic-Con conventions that they have?
I haven't yet. I'd be very curious to go because I know they're just wild. Have you ever been to one?
No. I think, Sabina, have you?
Yeah, I have. I've been to Dragon Con here in Atlanta because I live in Atlanta, and that's always on my birthday weekend. So,
oh my gosh,
it's a great convention. It is fantastic. Hopefully, you get to come one year. It's great.
Well, I just was in